You need to kill the boy. Kill the boy inside of you. Kill who you used to be. You need to say, fuck you to your old self, because I am not that. And that sounds extreme to start the video, but it's the truth. If you want to be someone you've never been, you want the life you've never had, you need to kill your old identity. Say fuck you to your past self, because that's not who you are. I'm going to tell you this right now. The reason you're watching this video is most likely because you're struggling in some area to kill your mistakes. You need to kill your vices. Maybe you keep struggling with your diet. Every 7 days you mess up. Maybe it's with pornography. Every 3-4 days you watch it. Whatever it might be for you, you fill in that blank. Weed, girls, drugs, alcohol, laziness, scrolling. You have a vice. You've got that vice in your mind. I want you to say it out loud. I struggle with blank, right? Get a tangible feel of what you struggle with. And then you need to say fuck you to your old self, because you are not that. I'm going to tell you this right now. You're watching this video because you don't want it in your life. You don't want that mistake. You don't want that vice holding you down. So how do you get rid of it? You stop identifying with it. I'm going to tell you this right now. When I was in middle school, I always was on my phone. Every single morning, I would wake up at like 6 a.m. and I wouldn't do like this crazy morning routine. I'd just like wake up, take a shower, brush my teeth. And then at 6:30, I'd sit in my parents' recliner in the living room, the upstairs living room. I'd lean back in the chair. I'd grab my phone and I'd watch YouTube for 2 hours, like before school started, or an hour and a half. I would literally wake up early, do my like brushing, the bare minimum, just to watch Minecraft videos, just to watch Terraria videos, just to watch Roblox videos. This is all when I was in middle school. And when I got to high school, I lost some of that, right? I didn't like scroll my phone as much. And the reason being is because I identified as someone new. I identified as the man that I wanted to be. Now, instead, I was identifying with being popular. That's who I wanted to be in that moment. So I knew that popular kids, they don't scroll on their phone at 6 a.m. to watch Minecraft videos. Like, that's not cool. So what I started doing was like, I tried to get to parties. I tried to get more girls. I tried to looks max a little bit. And I'm going to tell you right now, it did work in that sense of my identity changed. I no longer struggled with watching YouTube videos in my free time. I didn't just watch Minecraft videos. I wasn't attracted to it because it wasn't who I was. Now, 3-4 years later, I graduated high school a couple years ago. I identify as the man, right? But I've noticed that when I start identifying with my old ways, back in middle school, back in high school, when I start identifying as this kid, like I start focusing on my past mistakes. It happens a lot now that I'm at my desk working here alone. I've noticed I start identifying as someone who's just lazy, someone who scrolls. And all of a sudden, the last 3 months, I've struggled with getting off my phone, not scrolling, not watching videos that serve me no purpose. And I realized, like, man, the reason I'm struggling with it is not because I don't have discipline. It's not because I am lazy. It's because I believe I am those things. I believe I'm those things. Therefore, I do it. But if I simply kill my old self and I say, F you, F off, I'm not middle school anymore. Get out of here, old Noah. And I start identifying with who I know I am. I finished 75 hard. I can bench 315 for reps. I have built a business that serves and helps men get in shape. My mind starts changing. I start believing I am. And that allows me to take the action necessary. I guarantee you, you're watching this video wondering why you struggle with your lust, with your porn, with your cheating, whatever it is, cheating on your diet in that sense. It's not because you don't have discipline. It's not because you don't want it, because if you didn't want it, you wouldn't be watching this video. It's because you're still identifying with who you used to be. And you need to understand, I am not that. I'm not that. If you have a desire to be better, you already are greater than who you used to be. That's all you need, dude. Like literally, to become successful in whatever you want to become successful in, business, faith, body, relationships, whatever, you just need a desire. Because the desire is going to allow you to take action. And action literally gives you everything you want. Action stems from belief. If you don't believe you'll ever get in shape, will you ever take action to do so? No. If you believe you are lazy, and if you believe you are never going to amount to anything, will you take a risk on that new job? Will you take a risk on the new business? No, because you don't believe you can do that. Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now? You should. Because you should start realizing in this moment, holy shit, I've been holding myself back because I've been believing these things about myself. You need to kill your limiting beliefs, because your limiting beliefs are literally limiting you. And if you keep believing this about yourself, you will never, ever get the results you want in your life. I looked back a year and a half ago. I was finishing up my junior year in high school, or 2 years ago, whenever it was. Summer of 24. Okay. I decided to start 75 Hard. And leading up to this point, I'd broken up with my toxic ex. She was really holding me back in life. I locked into my school. I got all my grades back up. Like I was almost failing as a junior, and I got them all up. I started like passing with really good grades. I started taking on dual credit, and I was rocking it. Okay. I started my lawn care business. It was really successful for a junior in high school. I got in the gym. I lost 30 pounds. All of that stemmed from me being tired of who I was. I looked in the mirror one day after breaking up with her, and I was like, dude, I hate myself. Like I literally said that. Like I was like, I hate myself. I hate the way I look. I despise this. And then in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. This is not who I am. I know I'm more. And you kind of have to LARP it at first. When you first change, you do have to LARP being better, because you don't really know because you've never seen it. But you have to believe that you can. You have to have a delusional sense of belief, because that allows you to take action for the first time. So I believed in myself. All this stuff leading up started 75 Hard. And leading up to this moment, I had struggled with my diet. I was cheating once a week, once every 2 weeks on my cut, but I was still losing weight. I still had a six-pack. And leading into 75 Hard, I started. 6 days in, I failed. I knew in that moment it was because my identity was still believing that I could only go 6 days, 7 days without cheating on my diet. I didn't believe I was actually capable of not resisting. And I got so mad at myself in that moment. I got so fed up. I was like, Noah, F you. I'm tired of us holding ourselves back. And I am not someone who cheats on my diet every week. I am someone who can do 75 Hard, and I'm not a little bitch. It sounds harsh, but I'm telling you this right now. If you're a man watching this video, do you want to be a little bitch? Do you want to not be harsh? Do you not want to be intense? Do you just want to go through your life knowing that you could, but you didn't? That's the biggest pussy move of all time. You gotta be more, dude. So hold yourself, be harsh on yourself, be harder on yourself. And it sounds so extreme. It sounds too much. It doesn't sound like self-love, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's the most self-loving thing you can do. Holding yourself to the line, pushing yourself to the edge, being uncomfortable with yourself, and actually getting raw. Get real. Look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and be like, am I the man I want to be? If not, kill that version of you. Kill whatever is holding you back, because you get one shot. You get one life. And if you don't do what you wanted to do, you wasted it. You wasted it. If you live your life on others' terms, always waiting for their approval, always waiting to not be as intense, you're a loser, because you're not being a man in the sense of actually living up to who you want to be. Who do you want to be, man? You got to ask yourself that and then go after it. This is real. This is real. I'm not giving you any fluff right now. You got to be listening to what I'm saying. Okay, so I got raw with myself. And it sounds so 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 detrimental, right? It sounds damaging at first. I remember one day I cheated on my diet. This is like during the 75 hard, like leading up to it. And I was so mad. I was like, I'm not going to bulk off brownies and cookies. And I literally went out for like an hour and a half and I burned 1,000 calories. It was like 7 p.m. at night. Some people think that's extreme. Some people think that's a mental disorder. No, it's not. It's holding yourself to the line. And if you have big goals and big aspirations and you're not doing what you need to, you should come down on yourself, bro, because nobody else is going to come down on you. Nobody's going to fucking do that for you, bro. Like, I'll tell you this right now. If you keep cheating on your diet, you keep missing the gym, no one's going to tell you to get in there. People are just going to give you that look. People are just going to comment, so how's your gym going? Like, and it's just going to be a little dagger. It's going to stab you a little bit. And that's more irritating than if you just look yourself in the mirror and you hold yourself to the line. What do you want more? Do you want your mom to comment on how you're looking? Do you want your mom one day to be like, hey, honey, I didn't want to come down on you at all, but I'm just curious, like, are you healthy? Are you doing okay? Is everything all right? Like, how's the gym going? That's a dagger, dude. I don't want that. I don't want my mom to look at me and be like, when are you going to lose weight? I would hate that. That would boil my blood. Instead, I want to look myself in the eye if I mess up. And I want to kill my old self. Because that's me and me. I can deal with myself. I can deal with me. I can't imagine living a life where others look at me. They saw who I could have been. And then they just say, what happened to this? It's the biggest loss of all time. This is the biggest loss of all time. And that has to piss you off, because I would hate for you, when you're 20, 30, 40 years old, to not be the man you could be. You're out of shape. You're living a mediocre life. You have a mediocre career, a mediocre relationship, mediocre love life. And then your mom looks at you and says, how's the gym going? Honey, how's your relationship? I've noticed you've been not yourself. That it stings, it burns, and you should never get to that point in your life. A man should never get there. So going back to my story, I looked at myself in the eye and I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And I got hard on myself, and it was an uncomfortable situation. Being so mean, not mean to the sense of like I'm just beating myself up, but I'm looking myself in the eye and I'm talking sternly, and I'm killing the old version of myself. And it sounds so dumb, and like I'm saying this out, it sounds dumb, but it works. And then next day I committed to 75 hard. 20 days in, I started telling people, hey, yeah, I'm doing 75 hard. They'd ask me, oh, how's that going? Yeah, I'm 21 days in right now. Their grin, their smirk fell off their face. Because they always believed that I was this guy who was like, yeah, I was in the gym, but I couldn't hold myself to the line every 7 days. They realized, oh shit, this dude's serious. And I proved them wrong a little bit. And that feels so fucking good. I'm going to tell you right now, when you get to hold yourself to the line, and you know you can do it, you know you could be more, and all your friends, all your people around you, they belittle you. They think you're only this. And then when they ask you, oh, how's that going? And you could one-up them and you just tell them, yeah, I'm actually on day 21. Yeah, I've actually sold over 10,000 so far. Yeah, I'm actually blah, 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 whatever it is. And you get to see their grin fall off their face a little bit, and they were like, holy shit, I shouldn't have doubted him. It's such a good feeling. I remember day 30, 75 hard. I started having temptation. I remember I was eating my Opal. I remember it so vividly, eating my breakfast. And I had this huge temptation. I was like, I want to cheat on my diet today. I'm looking good. I'm leaner. I've never gone 30 days without cheating. Maybe I should give myself a little break. And it's crazy because in that moment, you feel like you're so weak. But look outside of yourself and you realize you're next to the oven making your oats, and it lasted for 10 seconds. And all you have to do is shut up your bitch. Shut that bitch up inside of you. You just ignore it. 10 seconds go by. You feel like it's the hardest thing, but then you realize, oh shoot, I'm stronger than I think I am. I'm stronger than I think I am. And then it happened again around day 60. And I pushed through it again. In the moment, you feel like you're not going to make it through, but you realize it's 10 seconds, dude. Push through 10 seconds. And then I got to day 75, and I finished. It was the most amazing feeling I'd ever felt in my life. It was so much better than busting a nut. It was so much better than having sex with a girl, bro. I'll tell you this right now. Finishing 75 hard is like the most worth it thing I've ever done in my life. Because I held myself to the line, and I'll tell you this right now. Once you hold yourself to the line, you don't have to be so mean on yourself. Like when I was day 30, day 60, and I made it through, man, I gave myself kudos, okay? And it's not like I was just running for 20 hours a day. I would go to the gym. I would come back. I would mow grass because I ran my lawn care business, right? I'd mow a couple yards, come back, eat a meal, chill out, maybe do my evening walk or my kind of late afternoon walk, eat dinner and watch Netflix, read, take a bath, go to bed. And it was a beautiful cycle. I was locked in. I focused on what I needed to focus on. And when I was locked in, I gave myself an hour of Netflix. I gave myself an hour of maybe watching some YouTube. But it came after I did what I needed to do. And I'm going to tell you this right now. When I was watching YouTube, it wasn't some bullshit. Like, it wasn't some Minecraft videos, okay? It wasn't some BS. It was watching, like, maybe the Trend Twins. Because that's who I am, right? It's living aligned to who you want to be. And when I watch Netflix, I was watching Outer Banks. That's a high testosterone show, okay? It boosts your testosterone. And I'm going to tell you this right now, dude. You can't be mediocre. You can't keep living average, because I'll tell you, man, you can maybe make a little bit of progress. You can maybe do a little bit with this old identity. You can probably still progress in the gym. Yeah, you can probably still land an engineering job. Okay. But who do you want to be? Do you really want to be 40? And real talk, look at me right now. You got to be open with yourself right now. Do you want to be 40? You have a decent wife. She wasn't the wife of your dreams. But you couldn't get her because you weren't your best self. You couldn't get your dream wife because you weren't in your best shape. You weren't in your best mental capacity. You weren't in your best mindset, right? You didn't have it in that moment. Would you be okay having a mediocre engineering job? You're not actually doing what you want to do. You can go to the gym and you look decent, you have muscle mass, but you can't see your abs. Like, you are just like kind of the gym unk. You're big, but you don't look good. You have a wife, she's all right, but at the end of the day, you don't like the fact that you missed out on this one girl in your past who literally was your dream wife, but you weren't the man for her. Like, think about it. Do you want that life? Do you want that life? I'll tell you right now, man, I don't. I don't want a wife that isn't actually a blessing to me. I don't want a wife that isn't the best option for me. I don't want a wife where I wasn't the best for her either. Because it's not just you in this situation. It's also the fact that you're not your best. So you're also not giving your full potential to your current wife. Okay? Do you really want the engineering job where, like, yeah, you landed it, but you didn't do all you could when studying. You didn't do all you could when doing the job. So you missed out on promotions. You missed out on a higher position. You missed out on potentially a business venture, right? If you were to study, if you were to go to the gym at certain hours, you could have networked with a guy who could have connected you with a new engineering firm. Like, think about all the opportunities you missed out by being mediocre. Do you really want that life? Be real. Ask yourself, am I okay with that? Because if you keep identifying with who you are, that's the best you could do, man. And it's not bad by any means. I'm not saying having an average wife, having an engineer job, being able to go to the gym, look decent, but don't have abs, you don't have definition, you don't actually feel confident without your shirt. I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm also saying it's not you. It's not who you could be. And you know you could be more. So why don't you start today? Kill your old self, dude. He doesn't exist anymore. You gotta say, fuck him, dude. Fuck him, because I get one shot. I get one fucking life. I get one chance to make this right. And if I don't do it right, I wasted it. If I live a life that I didn't want to have, I wasted my life. I'll leave you with this. You can tell someone's intelligence by how much they do what they say they're going to do, by how much they actually live in alignment to their highest self. How intelligent are you? You know you could be more. Kill the boy. Turn into the man that God created you to be. Now, don't just listen to this message. Go out there and kill the day. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, I have a link in my description and bio below. You can fill that out and we will see if we're a good fit for working together.